So buy another round and try to shut us down about an hour ago, but we still in this bitch. We still in this.
What is going on, everybody? What is going on, YouTube? Not your average flight, and it is time to get right. Coming at you guys with my episode 2 of 300 pack openings, and I'm looking forward to pulling some gold historic 3-point shooters. I've been getting my ass kicked online from the 3-point range. I think all I need to complete some of my team lineups is to put some 3-point shooters in there. So you will be seeing me pulling gold historic and a little bit of mix of silver plus and silver historic. Yeah, that's what it is. Because I believe they had 2 different silver types of pack openings, or 3 of them actually. And I'm going to be needing some 3-point shooters. So if you guys see me be pulling silvers from time to time, that's why you guys know why. But anyway, to address the haters again, if you guys are wondering how I got 300K, pulled out of one of my 5 envelopes I just keep my stash in. Money's not a problem. So I don't want to hear nothing from you guys saying, oh, how'd you get 300K? You already know. Similar to my last video, excuse me, I put money into it. And so you guys don't need to have no worries about what I'm doing, man. Don't be worrying about another man's hustle. That's how you start. Alright, let's stop with all these fancy stuff and let's go on to the pack opening. I want to just simply say that I wish I can go back to 2005 and below with NBA and NFL games, because I just feel like, or even also I forgot to mention college. I will be talking about too with the games in college, like the college basketball and college football. And pretty much what I want to be getting off my chest is I straight up feel like that college basketball, football, the NBA and NFL, it isn't the same no more since 05. Like after 07, that's when things just started changing. Like, if you guys know what I mean, it's hard to kind of explain somewhat, but it just seems it's not as intense as it was. It wasn't with like passion. It wasn't with the meaning of the game to play for. Like a lot of the NFL players, behind the later years, before, they used to just play straight up for just because they love the game. Now a lot of NFL players are sitting there holding off on playing games because they didn't get a couple more $1 million in their contract. Like one of my top 10 receivers that are actually my favorite too, his name Michael Crabtree. He came from Texas Tech, man. That man was a beast when he came out of college, man, I tell you. But he pretty much held off like 7 games, I think, because he didn't get what he wanted in his contract. Because he was a 10th overall pick, or 10th or 11th, I can't remember, and he felt like he wasn't getting paid the way he should get paid, and so he held off for 7 games, half the freaking season. And like, it's just selfishness of these players, like, because you don't have to play in professional sports. You can be somebody busting their ass in a construction job and still not complaining. Like, you see what I mean? Like, it just also got to a point where a lot of them felt like they have to be there. Like, it's a privilege to be playing in the NBA or any professional sport. And I just feel like they just stopped working hard, especially when they don't get what they want. Like, if you think about it, honestly, you guys, to a good NFL or NBA superstar, and now I'm gonna agree with them. If you're a superstar, you should be getting paid some, primetime bucks, but it just comes to a point where you just have to just man up and just take that contract, man. Because you think Michael Jordan freaking complained about it when he used to play back then? That man's like the greatest of all time, and I'm pretty sure the contracts wasn't what they were as they are today back then. And so, can you imagine him like complaining? Like, I just feel like these generation of NBA players are starting to get more ungrateful. They're starting to work less hard in their NBA games. I feel like some of them that just get injured and whatnot, they just don't put in the effort to try and bust their ass and come back to play the way they should be playing. It's starting to get sad, and it's starting to just, I feel like I'm going to predict that NBA and NFL won't even be around in 50 years, man, because just the way the whole thing is going right now with paying these contracts and money to the players, it's going to eventually get to a point where the NFL stock market or something is going to crash, similar to what it did with the lockout, the NFL lockout, and they almost held off that whole NFL season. It's gonna get something similar to that, man. I'm telling you. And they're just not gonna be able to either play NFL games, or nobody's just gonna watch it anymore. They're gonna move on to a different sport. Because I know UFC is actually on a come up too. A lot of people like to watch UFC. I feel like they need to have more games broadcasted everywhere because UFC is an underrated sport, in my opinion. And as at the moment, we're not even pulling nobody. We haven't pulled one legend yet in this pack opening, and I'm real surprised at that. And I also feel like what's messing a lot of the stuff up in the college sports is the people bribing them to kind of come play on their teams. You know how they offer them cars and clothes and signed autograph stuff to help them make some money, because they know that a lot of the college players that are really good, they didn't come out of a good environment where they lived in, where they didn't have a lot of money to buy nice things, and so they know that's it's kind of like a bait. I honestly feel like, in my opinion, college athletes shouldn't be getting in trouble the way they are with these, like, them accepting gifts. Because I remember LeBron, he almost actually didn't even get to play the rest of his high school season because he accepted gifts from colleges or just gifts from people. Like, I don't know why it's the player's fault that they're doing that. Like, it's a gift that you're receiving. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think that they shouldn't be punished, but they shouldn't be punished the way they should be. Like, maybe get suspended or something, a lesser term. But you got players sitting there getting kicked off of teams, like the whole team is getting punished for doing that. Like with the Terrell Pryor incident, that whole sanction crap, like that whole team got punished and they can't even get into bowl games and whatnot. Like, that's what's ruining the whole fucking sport. Excuse my language, but it's just the truth. Like, these people that make up these rules and regulations to the NCAA, they don't think about this stuff because they just think about themselves, honestly. That's why the whole collegiate place is just turning into a selfish organization. Because if the coaches are giving, ooh, I pulled David Robinson, let's go, David Robinson. I needed a center. He's gonna suit me so well in my offense. He's a tenacious rebounder. If I add some signature skills on him, you already know nobody's gonna get in the freaking paint. Oh my gosh, what a great pull. And we ended up spending like what, 150K to finally get a gold legend. That's not good and that's not cool. But again, back to the college thing, I just feel like the people shouldn't punish the athletes the way they should be from them accepting gifts. Because like I said again, a lot of them didn't come from great environments where they wasn't able to get all of those fancy stuff. Sorry, I'm gonna swipe some of my signature skills for something. I needed to actually put a finisher skill on a couple players, so that's why I swapped it there in my collection. But a lot of the players came out of like the hood pretty much, so they're not used to getting nice things. And so when a coach sees that from a college standpoint, they see, he has potential to really suit my team well. So you know what? I'm gonna take my own money out of my stuff and I'm going to bribe him, like kind of bait him to buy my stuff, or I'm gonna offer him gifts pretty much to come to my school. So the coach thinks like that. He thinks that the player's gonna come to the school and then they're gonna dominate on that whole school. Like the whole school level. Like for example, a superstar coming out of Chicago, the south side of Chicago. We all know the south side of Chicago is one of the top 5 worst cities in the United States, or the top 5 worst areas in the United States, how you want to put it. And he notices that the best thing he's ever had was some Retro 11 Jordans, pretty much, that he got for Christmas. And when a coach sees that, he's just gonna be like, oh, you know what? I need this guy to come play on my college team, because if he comes and plays, we have a chance to maybe make it into the national championship game or the Rose Bowl, and that can increase my coaching career and it can better my coaching career to kind of move forward on in my whole life. And when a coach thinks like that, they would do anything. I'm telling you, if anybody had anything to help them make more money and they knew how to do it, they would literally do anything to get to that point. And so once they think like that, they offer the players free gifts. Like they'll go out of their way to buy their asses freaking Cadillacs, 2013 Dodge Chargers and whatnot, and it'll just be like, here, out of my gratuity, here is accepting a gift because you're so good. But in the coach's head, he's thinking, I can get this player to come play for my college, and I already pulled Oscar Robertson, don't worry about that. I can get this player to come play for my college, but he's making us think like I'm just giving him free stuff, like I'm just pretty much his second daddy or something. And so once they come to their team, if they bribe them enough, the coach pretty much won in that situation. The player didn't win because he's the one that's going to get punished if he gets found out about the league. The coach really doesn't get punished the way the players do, in my opinion, with the whole offering the gifts and whatnot. So I just feel like college, man, it's sad to just see all that stuff happen. Like the coaches are so selfish and they're so self-minded. They don't care about the players sometimes. I'm not saying all the coaches do, but some of the coaches just think about their money and their coaching career. They don't think about anybody else but themselves, man. And that's why this whole professional sports is just starting to get a downgrade. And another reason why the NBA and NFL, or let me just start off with this. I'm just say why the NBA is starting to get a little bit boring, and it's going to get boring in the next 5 years, like to the point where people are not even going to watch it that much, because the game, it kind of strived and went away from the fundamentals of the game, and now it's just all based on who's faster and who's athletic and who can get the most rebounds and dunks in the game, or alley-oops or whatever, and they're gonna end up winning the game because that's what it's coming down to. That's all they're freaking drafting players for, like, or they're doing it off of height too. What was I gonna say? Like, when you hear ESPN people talk about Tim Duncan all the time, that man is the freaking most fundamental power forward that ever played a game. And he just gets no attention, but people like Amari Stoudemire, I'm not dissing Amari Stoudemire now, I know he's a good player, but people like Amari Stoudemire, or not even Amari Stoudemire, freaking Blake Griffin is getting freaking ESPN analysts to freaking write his damn freaking job on every freaking ESPN show. Because what all can Blake Griffin do? Dunk the ball. That's all he's known for. That Blake Griffin can't. When have you seen Blake Griffin in the post do fadeaways and do bank shots off the post and do fake passes and then doing hook shots and whatnot, man? Like, all he knows how to do is do dunks and alley-oops. That man cannot shoot mid-range shots. Chris Paul, he's setting him up for the most perfect mid-range shot. If he worked on his mid-range shot instead of learning how to freaking dunk the ball harder and bend in the rim a little bit more, Blake Griffin would easily average like 28 points. But just because all he grew up to know is how to be more athletic than everybody, than to be fundamentally sound and be fundamentally skillful, then that's the coaches are teaching people the wrong stuff nowadays. That's the problem. Like, that's why when I was playing basketball, when I used to play basketball, honestly, I would love to play basketball in Europe, because I know them boys, I probably would think that if you try to be all fancy on the court, they'll probably sit your ass down somewhere. Like, they focus straight up on fundamental basketball. That's why when I watch USA versus what's it called, the basketball, you know, the basketball Olympics or whatever, why do you see people like freaking China, or I'm just naming teams because I haven't watched it in a while, I'm just people like China, freaking EuroLeague teams almost coming close to beating the USA, even though the USA unarguably has the best players in the world. But what do you know? The EuroLeague has players that are fundamental. None of them players are really athletic. Let's just be honest. Like, there's only a couple players, if anything, in the whole EuroLeague that can freaking do windmills in a game. Like, let's just put it that way. They're more fundamentally sound. That's why they come close to beating Team USA. And until coaches and players realize that the game is not based on athleticism and speed, then the game is just gonna fall off, man. Like, it's the same thing with the NFL. Like, the NFL turned into a little pampered league, to be honest with you. People like my favorite safety of all time, Sean Taylor. If he was still alive, rest in peace, Sean Taylor, 21. Sorry, I had to give a little prayer to him. He's who'd I pull? Terry Porter. I was looking back at my Elgato screen as I was praying for my man Sean Taylor. Rest in peace. Pulling my man Terry Porter as a reward for saying that little prayer. Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't even know. But I got my man Terry Porter. He's a great three-point shooter. I really need three-point shooting on my team. He's going to suit me so well. And let's go. Just like I said later in this video, you see LeBron James, when he first came into the league, all that man knew how to do was drive to the hole. He noticed that players that were more fundamental on defense and knew how to actually play defense, he wasn't going to be able to keep up with that. And so what did he start to do? He started to develop a jump shot. He started out from the mid-range and started to work himself out. Now he has a better three-point shot in the game. It's an 85. and now he's starting to work on his post a lot more. So he's about to be an unstoppable player. LeBron James is smart. And what was I gonna say? Players like Kevin Durant, man. I don't think he's not even gonna be what people make him seem to be. He's just a scorer. Like, the only reason Kevin Durant is successful scorer in the league. Sorry, stuttering and getting into me. The reason why he's a successful scorer, Kevin Durant, that is because he's a good scorer. The reason why Kevin Durant is a successful scorer is because he's a good shooter from the outside. He doesn't really drive that much in the paint. He'll get like a couple drives a game, but other than that, Kevin Durant, if he don't work on his posting game and get stronger, man, he's gonna end up getting injured or something, because he doesn't strive to be stronger. He just likes to be lanky and skinny, man. That's not the way to go. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching my 300K pack opening. If you guys enjoyed this and enjoyed my topic, be sure to like and subscribe. Episode 2 coming to an end. Not your average flight. And I'm out today, everybody. Peace.